sample problems. So we talked about rates, like this is a rate because it has 2 units, miles and hours, but it's not a unit rate because neither one of these have a 1 in it. Okay? This is a rate because it has dollars and hours, but it's not a unit rate because neither one of them has a 1 in it. Okay? We have meters and seconds, another rate, no 1, so it's not a unit rate. And then we have miles and minutes, but we don't have a 1, so it's not a unit rate. So we're going to take 3 of those and turn them into unit rates. Get it? Okay. So here's the thing. I know that there's lots of strategies, but I want you to watch my strategy here. When I see something like 50 miles in 6 hours, if you use a ratio table, you can do some quick mental math steps to get down to 1, like just dividing by 2. That's the same as 25 miles in 3 hours. Okay? And if you get out those common factors, then when you do your last division, it's easier to write your answer, even though it might be a mixed number here. So I'm going to divide by 3 because I want to get miles per 1 hour. That's going to be a unit rate for me. All right? So when I divide by 3 here, I know that 3 doesn't go evenly into 25. So Katie, how can I write that? Yeah, fraction bars mean divide, so just write it as 25 over 3. And that's your unit rate, but then you could say, you know, from elementary school, surely you want to go to mixed numbers here to make it meaningful. So what is it, Lily? Right.
8 times, and then you just have 1/3 left.
Right, so 3 goes into 24 8 whole times, but it doesn't go into 25. So you know you need 1 more to get to 3, which is the remainder. Some of you might think of that as a division problem. And to hear kind of what she said and visualize it, 8 times 3 is 24. But then she has this 1, and you always take these 2 numbers and make a fraction.
Well, but you can also do this.
So that becomes 1/3. You could, and you can go to the decimal, but we're going to go.
8.3.
It would be 8.3 repeating, so that would also be correct. But I would say for speed and quickness right now, you could leave it as a fraction, and that's exactly correct also. So the unit rate is 8 1/3 miles per hour. That's your unit rate. And I'm going to just try to group this a little bit up and move it over. That is a unit rate. The third didn't go along for the ride. There we go. Raise your hand if that makes sense. Okay, so we got a 1, that made it a unit rate.
That makes sense.
Okay, now watch this next one. This one's super easy, right? Sometimes they're easier. Nothing to this one. Divide by 5, exactly. So they don't always have to have multiple steps. If it's just easy to do it in 1 step, do it in 1 step. So that's the same as the rate of 16, what are the units?
Dollars.
Right, $16 per 1 hour. $16.
That's not good payment.
That's not for you. That would be pretty good. For a lot of young people, that's pretty darn good. Even in college, if you worked part-time in college, that's pretty good. Not for a career job, maybe. Not to support a family, but that's pretty good money for you guys. Okay, so here's the thing. With decimals, this is what I want every single person in the room to look at. You have to get to a unit rate, but there's no reason you can't build up first. So I'm going to double. This is where you guys that like try to do everything with long division and don't. Just double. Watch. If I double here,
Times 2.
Right, I at least get rid of the 3.5, that becomes what? 7. So I have one less decimal. Babe, what about if I double 19.25? What do you get?
Oh, wow. 30, 50,
Right, you get 38.50. So it's better. So I'm building up, even though in the end I want to get minutes per 1 mile.
It would be 36.50.
It would be 38.50.
Because 9 plus
Oh, yeah,
7
sorry.
is-
That's okay. So Jason, can I get rid of this decimal?
Yes.
What can I do?
Double.
Double. And if I double, I get what, Jason?
76. No, 77.
77. Good job. Because you have to do the carry there, right?
Mm,
77. And what do I have on the bottom, Jason?
14.
14. Sorry. Now, is there anything common here?
7 plus 7 is 14.
A 7. Great. 7 would be a one thing we could do. We could divide down by 7 and get 11 over 2, right? So Davis, what am I going to do now? I want to get per 1. Divide by 2. I did that divide by 7 here. And that gives me 11, what? How do you do that, Davis? If I divide by 2. It would be 5 1/2. And if you guys don't see that, you can start with 11 over 2. 2 goes into 11 5 times, and the remainder is
4, 5 is 10.
1, right?
It would be 5.5.
Right, so the unit rate is 5 1/2 what? Minutes per mile. So even though I took a long time, it's actually not, it's a lot of steps, but it's not slow. You can build up to get rid of your decimals and then divide down by common factors. And then you have a nice clean unit rate.